Hello, biology students. Today I just wanted to tell you a little bit about how your dissection project is going to be graded as you start working on the presentation and finishing up your research today. What you see on the screen is the rubric that we're going to use as we grade your presentation. Like your teacher may have mentioned already, the grades on this project are specifically on the parts of the presentation that you research and present. So your grade is individual, even though you're completing this project with other students. So on this rubric, you can see, first of all, this is worth 28 project points. So that's at least twice as big as the other projects that we've had throughout this trimester. So this is an important piece in your grade. Make sure that you're doing some really good work to prepare. Make sure you understand the research that you're doing so that you really are the expert on your animal when you stand up to present and share what you learned with the class next week. In your slide presentation, of course, the first one you have is your title slide with a picture, your group member names, your scientific name of your organism. And then each member of your group completed one of these introduction slides. The introduction slide that you completed is worth a total of 4 points. And so, for example, if you were in charge of the habitat slide, this is the information that your teacher would be looking for during your presentation. These are all of the same things that were on the research document that you were working on Monday. So as long as you complete your research document and include those pieces of information in your presentation, you should have all of this information there. For this one, we'd be looking for the range, like where in the world it lives, the type of environment it lives in, the climate, and at least one additional piece of information. There were a few other things that you were asked to look for. So depending which one, you will be graded on your one slide for the introduction. The information could be typed on your slide, but it could also just be information that you speak and share as you're presenting. It doesn't all need to be written down on your slide. It can be information that you just share verbally as you're presenting. You will also be graded on your body system slides, whatever body system that is. So for each person, your body system is graded on these 4 things. As you present, you need to describe how the system works. In other words, what are the body parts or the organs that are part of that system, and how do they all work together to accomplish the goal of that body system, to digest your food or whatever it might be. The second thing that you need to include is the name of all the parts and a labeled diagram or a drawing that shows all the different parts of your body system. You can use this diagram during your presentation as you're explaining how your system works. The third piece that you need is something that you will need to spend some time thinking about today. As you actually dissect your animal tomorrow, one of your jobs is going to be to make sure that your group takes pictures of the important body parts and organs that are part of your system. So whether you're in the classroom or whether you're a distance learner, you should make sure to figure out what body parts you will need to take pictures of, because in your presentation, you need to include pictures from your actual dissection. The last piece is you need to explain how your body system helps the animal to survive and get food and reproduce and move within its particular environment. So those connections between the body parts and the organs that it has and how they work, and how that specifically makes it better adapted within its environment. In addition to the content, you also are getting some points for your presentation. So the visual presentation is basically what your slides look like. You've all probably seen slides with tons of words that you can't read or no pictures and they're really boring. So you get some points for having slides that are visually interesting, that have some pictures and diagrams. They're simple enough that they're easy to look at for the audience. The text is readable and there aren't too many words. I always tell my students the fewer words you can put on a slide, the better. If you just have pictures and you stand up there and talk about them, you're going to give a lot better presentation than if you have tons and tons of words on there and you try and read them all to us. So keep your slides simple, put a little bit of information on there and a few visuals to make it interesting, and then you can add additional information when you speak. You also get some points for your spoken presentation, for having appropriate volume and making eye contact with the audience. Probably the most important part is make sure you are not just reading your slides to us. You're the expert on this animal, so make sure that you're really telling us everything that you've learned and explaining the pictures and the diagrams and what you saw and how it all works together. You should also be adding information beyond just the words on the slide. If all you do is read us the words on the slide, that's not enough. You should be adding additional information as well. Like I said, less words on the slide, more words coming out of your mouth. That'll end up giving you a better presentation. And the final thing is you need to include your sources. They don't need to be super properly formatted, just copies of the website links is fine. I would suggest putting them at the bottom of each of your slides so that they're very clear and obvious, and we know that you included the sources where you got your information. So if you add that all up, that adds up to a total of 28 points per student. Make sure that you are connecting with your group members as we continue working on this, especially if you're not in school and not at the live meet. Make sure you're reaching out and communicating with them. Today is a work day to finish up research and also prepare for dissection. You will have access to a dissection guide for your animal, and you need to look through it today. Even if you're not going to be in the room during the dissection, if you're a distance learner, you still need to read the dissection guide to have an idea of what it will look like for the students in class and which parts of your body system they might be able to see and get some pictures of. You can also start putting together your presentation today so that you're ready to add in those dissection pictures and kind of continue going from there. So contact your group members to make sure that you're on track and doing the part that you're responsible for, and contact your teacher if you have any questions about this project or what you should be doing or what's coming up next. Have a great day.